In a quiet village at the edge of a vast, mysterious forest, there lived a poor but kind-hearted woodcutter named Arun. His life was hard, but he faced it with quiet dignity, finding happiness in his family and the little they had. Each day he ventured deep into the forest, cutting and gathering wood to sell in the nearby market. Though his work was honest and his hands strong, his earnings were barely enough to sustain his family, let alone provide for any luxuries. But one winter, hardship struck with a crueler hand. A strange illness swept through the village, infecting many, including Arun's wife and two small children. The sickness lingered, and as Arun saw their suffering deepen, his heart felt like it might break. Medicines were costly, far beyond his meager savings, and he struggled to imagine how he would save his loved ones. Desperation took Arun to the top of a small, rugged hill one evening. The sun had just slipped below the horizon, leaving behind a blanket of stars and the quiet hum of the forest below. Kneeling on the cold ground, Arun closed his eyes, his heart pouring out in a silent plea. "God," he whispered, "I am lost. I have tried everything I know to help my family, but I don't have the strength or the means. If you can hear me, please show me a way." As the words left his lips, a gentle warmth spread through the air around him, almost as if the night itself was listening. Then he noticed something, a faint golden glow illuminating a narrow winding path that seemed to appear between the trees. Arun's heart fluttered with a mixture of wonder and fear. He had walked through these woods for years but had never seen such a path. His spirit, however, felt an undeniable urge to follow it. Carefully, he stepped onto the trail, the glow leading him deeper into the forest, places he'd never explored before. It was eerily silent, but Arun's heart was filled with a strange sense of peace. After a short walk, he came to a small hidden spring surrounded by wildflowers. The water shimmered under the starlight, as if touched by something beyond this world. Feeling compelled, Arun knelt by the edge of the spring and reached down to drink. The water was cool and pure, filling him with a strength he hadn't known in years. As he looked closer, he noticed tiny flecks of gold swirling at the bottom of the spring. He hesitated, almost afraid to believe his eyes. Could this be real? With a trembling hand, Arun collected a small pouch's worth of the golden flecks, feeling a wave of gratitude wash over him. He hurried back to the village, his heart racing, and sold the gold for just enough to buy the medicine his family needed. That night, he held his children close as they rested peacefully, the color slowly returning to their cheeks. He knew without a doubt that this was a miracle, a gift from God. The next day, Arun returned to the spring, praying by its side and taking only what he needed. He continued to gather the gold sparingly, never taking more than enough. And he used his newfound fortune not only to lift his family out of poverty, but also to help his neighbors. As word of his quiet generosity spread, villagers came to him in their times of need, and Arun, always humble, shared the story of how faith had led him to the golden spring. He never spoke of it as his own achievement, but as God's answer to his prayers. As Arun grew older, he passed down the story of the golden spring to his children and grandchildren, teaching them that true riches come not from wealth, but from faith, gratitude, and kindness. And every so often, he would return to that hillside, looking up at the stars, his heart full of thanks. In time, the story of Arun's miracle became legend, a reminder to the villagers that even in their darkest hours, God's grace was always near, and that sometimes the answers to our prayers are found in the places we least expect.